Hi everyone. Today we're going to learn how to write our clincher sentences. Before we begin with the clincher sentences, I want to briefly go over the different parts of the SIM paragraph diagram that we've covered. So if you take a look at your screen, you'll see the paragraph diagram, and I'll highlight the different parts that we've gone over. We've talked about the different types of topic sentences. Once you have a topic sentence, you think about all of the details that you would like to include. And then you think about the type of sequence that you want to use in order to put all of this information together. Once you have a sequence in mind, you'd go back to your details and order them in the order in which you want them to appear in your paragraph. And then you also think about the types of transitions. Then you need to make sure that everything is written in the same point of view and in the same verb tense. So let's go into the different types of clincher sentences. Remember when we were working with topic sentences and detail sentences, we told you to hold off on the last sentence. These are called clincher sentences. Now I want you to think about them as the concluding part of your paragraph. It's the last piece of the puzzle when writing a paragraph. Clincher sentences are the last sentence in the paragraph. The purpose, or the reason why we need a clincher sentence, is to close the paragraph. The clincher sentence names the main idea of the paragraph. It sometimes summarizes or names the details of the paragraph, and it is always different from the topic sentence. So the first sentence and the last sentence are never going to be the same. All concluding sentences, your clincher sentences, have concluding transitions. Those are the words that tell the reader that the paragraph is finished. So if you remember back to the transitions chart that you all highlighted using different colors, the very last section includes your concluding transitions. These are the transitions that you will use after you've used all of the other transitions to signal the reader that you're done with your paragraph. So some concluding transitions are to conclude, in conclusion, in summary, in sum, in brief, to sum up, to summarize, as a result, thus, in short, as you can see, finally, and therefore. Notice that all of these transitions have a comma after them. That is very important. So, there are three types of clincher sentences. You have your general clincher sentence, your cluing clincher sentence, and your specific clincher sentence. They work similar to your topic sentences. Your general clincher sentence summarizes the main idea of the paragraph, and it makes the reader think more about the topic. To summarize, these are my favorite car models. What are yours? Notice you have the concluding transition, to summarize, and then a comma. These are my favorite car models. What are yours is my clincher sentence. In conclusion, when life gives you lemons, make lemonade. In conclusion is my concluding transition with a comma, and the rest of the sentence is my clincher sentence. Thus, if a person has approval from others, he may be less happy than if he has his own approval. Thus is my concluding transition with a comma, and the rest of the sentence is my clincher sentence. To conclude, this woman had many qualities that people should imitate daily. To conclude is my concluding transition with a comma. The rest is my clincher sentence. The second type of clincher sentence is your cluing clincher sentence. This names the main idea and it ties the details together with a clue word. So you can go back into your SIM packet and you could take a look at the different clue words that are listed for you. You're always going to include a clue word in the clincher sentence if that's the type of sentence you'd like to use. For example, in sum, these 4 events served as the spark that ignited the war. In sum is my concluding transition followed by my comma, and I use the word for as my clue word. That means that in the paragraph I spoke about 4 different events that started the war. To conclude, life can deal you many cards. It's how you play them that counts. To conclude is my concluding transition with a comma, and I have the word many as my clue word. In other words, several issues need to be considered before a person accepts a job offer. In other words is my concluding transition followed by my comma, and I have the clue word several as my clue word. And the last example. In conclusion, plenty of serious reasons exist for staying away from drugs. Ignoring them can endanger one's health and life. In conclusion is my concluding transition with a comma, and the word serious and plenty can be my clue words in the sentence. The last type of clincher sentence is your specific clincher sentence. The specific clincher sentence names the main idea, and it names the specific details that were covered in the paragraph in the order in which they were discussed. So you always have to go back to your diagram, take a look at your numbers to make sure you've listed your details in order. This would result in a very long sentence. As you can see, making a snowman involves rolling the parts of his body, stacking the parts, and creating his face and clothes. As you can see is my concluding transition with a comma, and then I talk about how to make a snowman. I have to roll the parts of his body, stack the parts, and create his face and clothes. In effect, the people followed a clear course. They wrote a petition, held rallies, demanded a vote, and caused the law to be changed. In effect is my concluding transition with a comma, and then I write the details that I included in my paragraph. People wrote a petition, held rallies, demanded a vote, and caused the law to be changed. Notice here that everything is written in the same tense, the past tense. In summary, the environment is in danger because of our vehicles, our mountains of waste, and our lack of attention to nature's need to replenish itself. In summary is my concluding transition, and then I list how or why the environment is in danger. It's in danger because of our vehicles, our mountains of waste, and our lack of attention to nature's need to replenish itself. So in order to write a clincher sentence, you need to pick a sentence type, explore the words to fit, note the words, and go back and search and check to make sure everything makes sense. So I want to work on some examples with you. So let's take a look at a few examples together of the different types of clincher sentences. So here, they want us to read the paragraph and underline the clincher sentence. Bob knows how to write a complete sentence using the 5 requirements. First, he makes sure he has a capital and end punctuation. Next, he makes sure he always finds the verb. Then, he uses a verb to locate the subject. Finally, he reads the sentence to make sure it makes sense. To conclude, Bob finds these steps help him to write good sentences. So notice first our topic sentence. Bob knows how to write a complete sentence using the 5 requirements. This is a cluing topic sentence. They use first, next, then, and finally as their transitions. And then the last sentence uses a concluding transition. So they want us to underline this. So to conclude, Bob finds these steps help him write good sentences. To conclude is my concluding transition. I have my comma, and then Bob finds these steps help him to write good sentences. This would be a general clincher sentence. At the top, I have a cluing topic sentence. At the bottom, I have a general clincher. They're very different from each other. Take a look at example number 2. Animals need to have certain things in order to live. Most importantly, they need air to breathe. Also important is the fact that animals have to have food and water. Another important need is shelter. Therefore, without these 3 things, animals cannot survive. Animals need to have certain things in order to live is a cluing topic sentence. We have the word certain as a clue word. Most importantly, also important, another important need would be my transitions. And then I have my concluding transition at the end. Therefore, this is my concluding transition followed by my comma, and then I complete the clincher sentence. Without these 3 things, animals cannot survive. Notice then that I have a clue word, the number 3. So this would be a cluing clincher sentence. I had a cluing topic sentence, and now I have a cluing clincher sentence. Although they're the same type, both using clue words, they're different sentences. That's okay. Take a look at the third example. Our government is made up of 3 branches. First is the executive branch. The presidency is part of this branch. Second is the judicial branch. Third is the legislative branch, which makes the laws. To conclude, the executive, judicial, and legislative branch form our government. So if I notice the first sentence, my topic sentence, our government is made up of 3 branches, is a cluing topic sentence. I have first, second, and third as my transitions, and then I end with the concluding transition to conclude, followed by a comma. The executive, judicial, and legislative branch form our government, is my clincher. It's listing all of the details that I included in the paragraph, therefore this clincher would be specific. Cluing topic, specific clincher. Books are fun to read. The best books are mysteries. The next best books to read are biographies which tell about the lives of famous people. The third best books to read are how-to books about computers. Thus, reading these 3 types of books can lead to hours of enjoyment. My topic sentence, books are fun to read, is a general topic sentence. The best, the next best, the third best are my transitions, and my clincher begins with the concluding transition, thus, followed by my comma. Reading these 3 types of books can lead to hours of enjoyment. This sentence would be a cluing clincher sentence.